Okay, hello everyone. This is my fourth match from the Dominion League here against Games OU. I don't know, I'm familiar with Pokemon Tales, so I say his name as Games OU, but I understand he's from a different part of the world than me, so it might be pronounced like gamesou or something. Anyway, this board is kinda. There's not a lot to do here, right? There's Chapel, which people are speculating will get cut from the base upgrades. We could talk about that during the match or something because there's not a lot happening on this board. Really, you want to play a militia on people, and that's about it. I mean, for draw, there's nobles and rabble. Vagrant revealing nobles is draw, which is nice. Hireling is draw as well. For trashing, you have the Almighty Chapel, as was previously mentioned. Spice Merchant, Junk Dealer, and with 5 I am going to open with the Junk Dealer. I think 5-2 is excellent with the Junk Dealer and Chapel here. I considered not opening Chapel just to see how it would go, but it seemed bad. Chapel is still good, right? 10 cards is a lot of cards to get out of your deck, especially when you're drawing only 5 of them at a time and when your opponent is jamming you with Militia. So he plays Militia at the best possible time for me there. No Chapel, and I just ditched to Estates, not a problem. By the way, my opponent opened Militia and Chapel, and I opened with the Junk Dealer and the Chapel. I'd open Militia Chapel on 3-4 as well. So here, this is just a silver for me. What I am planning to do at this point is just try to get a bit of draw in. You can't really go straight money because Rabble is going to pin you down, so you need to build a bit of an engine, whether that involves hireling. Storyteller is draw too, if you missed that. Whether it involves hireling, storyteller, or like some kind of nobles Rabble thing. I'm just going for, I want at least a Rabble in the deck, right, so I don't get wrecked by Rabble. And the shuffles are going very, very well for me so far. Look at this, all the estates are gone here. And it's going to kill everything because I have the silver in the back. I can recover my economy quite well, quite well. Whereas my opponent, on the other hand, still has all their estates. They seem to have had awful luck with that chapel. So, a very rough start for them here. Picking up our second silver. Here I am going to get rid of the chapel at this point. It does very little for me, if anything at all. And 5 is going to be my militia here. Militia for the attack, militia for the money, right? So here, this hand I have an option. I could get rid of 2 coppers, which was my instinctive play, but then I would draw 1, leaving 1 on top of the deck. I mean, it's not a big deal given my deck is 5 cards big, but I thought it would be better to just not top deck a copper just for practice. And well, I'll buy something, right? So the deck will be 6 cards, and then I may not see the Junk Dealer, may not see, well, just the Junk Dealer is the big deal there, right? May not see the Junk Dealer, so I opted not top deck a copper and just buy another silver here, second silver to buy 6 costs, whether it be nobles or hirelings. My opponent finally manages to get rid of an estate, so I mean, somewhat better, but that's not a happy position to be in. I've been in the position, I'm sure people who have played Dominion long enough have been in that position. That's not at all where you want to be when you buy Chapel. Still having 2 estates by turn 7 or something. So here 8 is province potentially, but like I said, that doesn't seem very good, right? With militia floating around and rabble. I think you have to build a little bit of an engine before you start to go for greens. So I pick up the nobles here, beta points, and it puts me in the direction of building an engine, right? Actions or cards. So here, going to get rid of the nobles. It doesn't draw much, and I could get rid of the junk dealer, and I do get rid of the junk dealer, and we'll be content with 5 on this turn. This 5 is going to be a rabble at this point. I have the 2 actions from the noble, so presumably, hopefully, play rabble, then play militia. Which, by the way, my opponent has now a second copy of the militia. So here 5, look, you could go for some kind of merchant ship payload too if you want, but I think just gold is better than merchant ship. Why? Well, I think it gives you more money over 2 turns because you could see the gold, frequently. I mean, the merchant ship sits out of your deck, but I mean, look, I recently played a game with somebody from the league, and they went for some of the big merchant ship payload, and they were in a good position over me, but then their deck stalled, presumably because they had about 20 merchant ships, and they drew 10 of them in their first hand, and then just choked from there. So that's an issue with massive merchant ship payload, right? You have to make sure your draw is very, very consistent. And again, I still think gold is just way better than merchant ship as payload here. So 7, and I'm not really sure what to do here. I could go for a gold at this point. I don't have money to threaten province, which is somewhat of an issue, but I still just decided to get on nobles here. Just trying to keep the draw afloat. I don't want to, underbuild and then my opponent build the correct amount and then I am under pressure for the end game because my deck just fell apart because I'm getting rabble pinned or something and I can't draw enough. Speaking of the rabble pin, the Vagrant kinda defends against that, which is cool. Also, rabble gets rid of your nobles, which you would like your rabble to go through your deck and top deck 3 nobles for you, but that is not going to happen because of the action. What, subtyping? Is that how I say that word? I don't know. So 6 here again, hireling, gold, nobles. For this game I wanted a hireling just because of the militia attack. It could restore your hand size, and 4 cards is better than 3. And maybe it could help to pair 2 nobles or something. So I did want a hireling, at least just the 1 hireling because I don't think there's time to buy more. I mean, more would obviously be better, but this is not really the time to do it. And 5 here, my opponent goes for a storyteller. So I understand the storyteller, you need some draw, and he's buying quite a bit of, big, dense treasures. So I get the storyteller. I get it. I don't want to buy the storyteller because my payload is treasure, and I don't want to use my payload for draw, especially when I have draw already. So here again, just hovering over this hireling button. I have so much overdraw, but I also wasn't hit by militia last turn, so I have to keep that in mind. I have to keep thinking, can I get everything from a 3 card hand rather than from a 5 card hand? So I do pick up a gold here instead, and I think next turn I'll pick up a hireling is my plan, and then go for provinces from there, because there's not really much point to just chipping away at the nobles, right? I don't see any. But then I see my opponent pick up on nobles, so I say, well, if you're going to contest them, then I'll take some. Not at all harmful to me to pick up nobles, so I'll do so. I could go for the province here, but I'm gonna just pick up the nobles. Hopefully add stability to my engine here. I don't. Would you call this an engine? Does it draw cards? I don't know if nobles nobles draws cards. I think it draws 1 card, but yeah, this isn't the nicest of engines in the world to build. Right, so here, just kick off time, no problem. Don't get to play the rabble, but that's not too big of a deal. Although my opponent does have estates. No, they've gotten rid of this. They have the nobles, that's where the 2 points is coming from. So yeah, rabble isn't really consequential at this point, and this point in the game we just finish out the nobles pile, and then I'll pick up my hireling finally. Woohoo, hireling, and then start to go for provinces. So 9 here, last nobles is mine, win that split like 6 to 4, 6 to 2, there's not 10 nobles. And gold for my opponent, this is going to be a hireling for me here. And my opponent resigns in short order here, because I'm quite stable, especially with this hireling. I feel a lot better with the hireling. I don't know if that's warranted, but I do. So that is game 1 for you. Not too interesting really. I mean, you could think about what payload you would put if you prefer merchant ship. over the goals, but I prefer the goals. And yeah, just 5-2, I think, carrying it home. And not just 5-2, I had very good turns 3 and 4 as well, and you just press the early advantage home here. So thanks for watching, and I promise there are more interesting games to come in the rest of the match, so do look forward for those.